Happy Friday night. Good to see everybody here. I don't know who's here, but good to see you, whoever you are watching in the interwebs. And boy, what a day today. If you had a crazy day, I have had a crazy day. But this was kind of an impromptu thing that I've been thinking about and working on for quite a while. And I wanted to share it with you because I had the opportunity to come on live. And we'll see. It might be a little short stream, but I'll tell you kind of one of my plans. People have been saying, Gosney, where's your music? Is this collar okay? You think the hair? I don't know. Forgot to put my makeup on. Hey, so here's the thing. I just wanted to do a little music stream. Are people here? Are my rumblers here? Maybe we should wait for people to gather along. But here's the thing. I love music. You know, as you know, I've got tons of these. This is not even music. Those are movies, and these are actually wait a second. That rack is movies. This rack is concert videos. That entire rack is concert videos. So, and I've got about 3,500 CDs. So, oh, Shane, good to see you watching a 48 Hours movie. Yeah, that's a good movie. 48 Hours. And, oh, Glitter Fart's here. Good to see you, Glitter. And Shane and Natalie. I hope Natalie. Gene is here. Gene XO, the super mod. So what we'll do is we'll go through this pretty quick, and I'll talk, and then I'll give you a few announcements, and then we'll dump you into somebody's stream that you need to recommend whose stream we're going to do a raid on. Okay, is that fair? So we're just going to have fun tonight and just say hello. And Porcelain Thunder's here. I always, I've seen, you've been in a lot of stuff that I've been following, and I've been communicating with you. So I know we've been sort of on similar wavelengths. So yeah, vices and everything. So here's what I want to talk about. There's a couple guys I follow that do kind of ranking the albums things, and I wanted to share with you some great music. And I was kind of listening to a lot of Genesis lately. And I thought, okay, I'm going to really I will just confront. Now, there's some real Genesis prog fans, and they're like, when Peter Gabriel left, Genesis was over. Or they say when Steve Hackett left, Genesis was over. That's kind of the Genesis diehard prog fans. All right, but I gotta say, I am a fan of Phil Collins. I like the Phil Collins fronted Genesis better. I mean, kill me now. I just do. Now, I will say I love the Peter Gabriel Genesis, but I actually prefer. But I also love the Phil Collins stuff, and I prefer when I listen to Genesis. Generally, I listen to the Phil Collins era stuff. Now, so let's talk about that. No, first, last. This is my friend one of my best, closest friends, who's actually the godfather of my son, is a Secret Service agent. And this is a United States Secret Service. Jacob Castro, good to see you. I see you over there in Rumble hiding out. So here's the concept. We're going to rank the Genesis albums. But what I've got right here is all of the Genesis albums on CD. So you think I buy all my music on CD. So let's see. What can we do? Well, let's make a cut. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut. This hand is the Peter Gabriel stuff, and this hand is the Phil Collins stuff. Now, if y'all like this, we'll come back and do the Peter Gabriel stuff. And in fact, in anticipation of that stream, I noticed that I had ordered Trespass. I do not have Trespass, which is the second Genesis album. And so I ordered that just for you so I could hold it in my hand and shine it and wave it. So let's review. There's Genesis, from Genesis to Revelation. There's Trespass, which I'm coming soon. It'll be here tomorrow. So if you like this, we'll do that. Second one is then Genesis Nursery Crime, Foxtrot, Genesis Selling England by the Pound, and The Lamb Lies Down in Broadway. Okay, this is the Peter Gabriel fronted group, right? That we're putting aside for a later date because I think you can't really compare. I mean, it's the same group, yes, but there's definitely a distinction between the Phil Collins fronted Genesis and the Peter Gabriel. So let's talk about Peter Gabriel leaves, and a lot of people thought Genesis was over when that happened. It's an interesting story because they were trying to find a new lead singer. Now, people that know Genesis, people that really know Genesis, right, will know that it's a group, it's a band, it's a group of English school kids who got together, were all very, very talented. They're all excellent. I mean, Mike Rutherford, Phil Collins was the original drummer on all of these albums. Phil Collins is the drummer, all right? And then you had Mike Rutherford, Peter Banks, an amazing keyboard player, Phil Collins, Steve Hackett on guitar, right? So this was the original lineup. When Peter Gabriel left, everybody thought, well, he's the lead singer, he's the keyboard player, he's the guy. Oh, and look, Lord of the Ree is over there. Good to see you. See, I knew I'd have Lord of the Ree here. It's not a music stream without Lord of the Ree. So he says, thank you for the Rumble rant. Oh, and sidecars are available, but it's going to be a very short stream. So if you want a sidecar, you got to get it in there. You know the deal. So Lord of the Ree, what do you have to say for me? Gosney, speaking of music, I just picked up Boston's first album on vinyl. 4-play, long time, sounds amazing. God bless you. Have you not heard Boston? God bless you, and God bless America, and bless the chat. Thank you for blessing the chat. The chat needs prayers, and let's pray for people. Let's pray for everyone who needs a prayer in chat. Okay, who's asked for a prayer. I know that we have Glitter is in here, and but we have a lot of people. Wait, what's the deal for a sidecar? It's the $100, the $100 sidecar. People say I sell it too short, but I have $100. I'll drink a sidecar for $100. So we're $5 in. So if we get 95, but you got to hurry up because this is going to go quick. But I'm going to tell some Genesis stories. I also read rock autobiographies for fun. And so I've read the Phil Collins rock autobiography. I really want to read the Mike Rutherford one. So that's on the list. So what happened was, with Genesis, back to Genesis. So Phil Collins is the original drummer. Oh, here's a little tidbit. Oh boy, do you want to see? If you're a Genesis fan, I got a tidbit for you. And let's see how many of you know this. In fact, I'm going to challenge the chat. Oh, but see, you got Google, so it's not going to be fair. But Phil Collins was an actor on a London musical stage production. What was that musical stage production? As a child actor. Oh, that's a bit of trivia right there. So in preparation for this, I have been doing a lot of listening of the Phil Collins era Genesis. And yeah, no idea. Come on, you think you're a real Genesis fan? You gotta compete with the gods here. So what was some other stuff? So when Peter Gabriel left, everybody thought the band was over, but see, the band is so strong. Every one of those guys is just an incredible, incredible musician. Nope, Shane, wrong, not Shakespeare. Though good guess, because they are Brits. Diamonds and Henna. So, Sleepy Psychopathy, a Rumble rant, which I really like the Rumble rants because there's no Google support. And $20, so we're 25. So we're a quarter of the way in, guys. That's pretty good. And this is a short stream, and we're gonna vote. And I'll tell you, people that have rants and Rumble rants and super chats will get extra weighted onto who we dump into and raid. Okay. So $20, quarter of the way there. Then okay. So he wants to see me drink. Trish Norman, good to see you. No guesses in the for any of you, because you're showing up here because you're a Genesis fan, or you're just a Gosney fan. I don't know. So Peter Gabriel leaves, and everybody thinks the band's over, but they start searching around for a new lead singer because they know that it's a band, it's a group collaboration, it's a whole thing, and that Peter Gabriel wasn't the only guy in the band. I mean, they still got Phil Collins on drums. They've got Mike Rutherford. They got Peter Banks. They've got Steve Hackett. I mean, it's a great group, right? And I mean, it's okay. This guy left. He was a big showman. He was a front. He was a personality and obviously quite talented. But when he left, they started looking for a new lead singer. So but they had music in the band. They're working on the music and they're trying to find a singer. And they said, okay, Phil, you've been doing backup vocals. Why don't you just do some scratch tracks here? scratch tracks. And well, see, we got Molson. You're late. Here's the Phil Collins fronted Genesis. Okay, we're talking. So and then he did this, and they kept interviewing. They kept what do you call it, auditioning singers, and they're like, yeah, it's a good singer. It's a good singer, but Phil's scratch track's better than that, and they kept doing that. It's like, well, yeah, good singer, but Phil's scratch track is better than that. And so he kept coming back to that. And Phil was basically trying to copy Peter Gabriel. If you listen to Phil Collins' singing style, there's a lot of Peter Gabriel influence in it because he would sing the old stuff too, right? So finally they just said, what are we doing? We've gone through like 80 auditions here, and Phil Collins is better. He's writing the band. Let's just have him. So he became the lead singer. Oh, Jenny LL, hello, $20 super chat. You guys want me to drink? I can see you. You just want to celebrate on a Friday night. Well, we're gonna celebrate, and we're celebrating. This is a party. It's a Friday night. It's 8:00. I've had a crazy day. I need you guys to be positive because I've had a very hard day. I will say, on every front. So I'm just sharing with you my life. But so let's review on what we did. Okay, so Phil Collins then becomes the lead singer on a album called Trick of the Tail. Trick of the Tail. That was the first Phil Collins album. And then there was a band, there was called this one here, Wind and Wuthering. Kind of a very dark, I'd say, a moody cover. And at this point, Steve Hackett leaves, the guitar player leaves. And the reason that he says that he left is because he felt so intimidated by the other musicians. I mean, you do have Phil Collins. Phil Collins is a world-class drummer, if you don't know. I know everybody knows him as the singer and the balladeer and all that. But that guy is an unbelievable drummer. Unbelievable drummer. And he is one of the most important drummers I think that's been around. So yes, we're at $45. Okay, yes, $55. Don't get a sidecar. Fair enough. But Steve Hackett leaves, and then there were three, which is the name of their album. And then there were three. You see that? Which refers back down to just the core group of Collins, Banks, and Rutherford. Now, I'm going to exclude live albums because we have an album called Seconds Out. And this is interesting because this shows you the lighting. This lighting was actually developed for Genesis. They had a great stage show, and they would rent that out when they weren't touring. And they made a lot of money off of their stage show that they'd rent out. Then we had an album called Duke, which I love that cover. That's a great cover. And then we had an album called Abacab. And what they did is they really stripped out. Up to this point, they had a Genesis sound. And this one, they kind of stripped it down. Oh, Lord of the Ree, $5. Okay, so we're halfway there. Halfway to Sidecar. And you better hurry up because this is going to go quick. So he left because he felt like he couldn't hack it. Oh, boy, that's a good one. I see what you're doing there. Genesis Abacab is interesting because this one was a kind of a strip. They kind of reinvented themselves. If you want to know I always consider this kind of like, well, if you know anything about U2, the band U2, I feel they kind of reinvented themselves with an album called Achtung Baby, which they went up to a certain point and they just kind of ran out of steam and they kind of scratched their heads and they're like, okay, where are we going to go with this? And they reinvented themselves as true artists will do. And I think that's what Genesis did with Abacab. And of course, as they're growing and growing and growing, and then they put out another album called Three Sides Live, which I'm going to put this aside also because I don't quite count this as one of their studio albums, although it's only 3 sides that are live. Let's just put this one aside over here on the live albums, okay? And then we've got Genesis, this breakthrough album. And then we've got Invisible Touch, because they became a stadium band at this level, at this album. and then also stadiums at this level. What they were playing Wembley at this point, right? Huge band. This is after like, so from Abacab to Genesis, this is right around when Phil Collins started becoming a huge solo artist and had all his big solo records, right? Invisible Touch. And then this was their last album with Peter Gabriel called We Can't Dance. All right. Now we're going to talk about each one of these. We're going to rank them and talk about them individually. All right. And you guys can join in here. We're all here. And I'm going to reveal my cards right off the bat and say, for this stream, and you've already made my day because you've gotten me $50 in Rumble Rants and Super Chats. Although it takes another $50 for Sidecar, I had to go out and purchase 2 of these records that I did not actually own, 2 of these CDs. And I did that for this stream. And the reason is so I could hold them up, but also I wanted to give them a fair shake. And I have been listening to these things. This is what all I've been listening to for about the last week and a half is Genesis. And specifically some of these 2 albums that I did not buy. And those 2 albums were the last 2. And the reason is because I absolutely hated Invisible Touch when it came out. Okay. And this is a band that can put out stuff that I just hate. And other stuff that I just love. All right. So when this album came out, because I loved this album when it came out, and then this one came out and I hated it. It's got to be an invisible touch. Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's like, ugh. But I'm like, you know what? I never listened to the whole album. So I'm going to, well, now there are songs on here that you might also know, but I'm going to go re-listen to this one. And I did never pick this one up because I can't dance. I never listened to this one either because I thought it was a follow-up to this one, which it was. And this was the last album with Peter Gabriel. So I bought those 2 just for you so we can hold them up and talk together. And Hidden Hand here, I know you're a big, we'll talk songs when we start ranking. All right. So here's my little packet. I've got to rank these albums. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 albums. All right. So after listening to all of these albums again, front to back, and really listening, I will say I still think the worst of this Phil Collins for the Genesis is Invisible Touch. The worst. There's nothing on here I like. I hated it. Okay, now I will say when it came out, first of all, it was overplayed. But now it's been years since I've listened to this. All right. So I don't like, we have to be an invisible touch. Yeah, because it was complete sellout pop garbage as far as I'm concerned. But then there's this song, Tonight, 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 oh, which has got a great hook. And I was like, okay, I kind of like that hook. And I remember it was on a commercial. I forget which commercial it was on. Oh, I didn't answer the trivia question. Well, maybe if you get me a sidecar, then I'll answer the trivia question, okay? Otherwise, you'll have to Google it yourself. That is what stage play in London did Phil Collins star in as a child actor? Phil Collins. All right, so I was like, I had hopes for Tonight, Tonight, Tonight. And I listened to it, and okay, it's got a good chorus, but the song's like 8 minutes long. Yeah, okay, see, Hidden Hand, he's got it. It's way too long. It should be cut in half. Molten Salt shoots and he scores. Molten Salt over in Rumble. He got the trivia answer correct, and that is Oliver. The answer to the trivia question is he was the lead in Oliver. Remember this in Consider Yourself at Home. Consider yourself part of the family. Okay, that was Phil Collins back in the day. And the day his voice cracked and he got adolescence, he was fired. Isn't that wonderful? Our bleeding heart entertainment industry. Okay. No, I think you were the one that you got it. So Tonight, the album version sucks because it's way too long. I like the hook, but once you've heard it, I get it. And be some editing. Okay. Then you've got Land of Confusion, which was another big hit. But I hated the video for that because it was all like, oh, Reagan's going to cause the world. I mean, Reagan was the best president we ever had. So not to get too political, but I didn't like that very much. And it's not a bad song, but every time I hear that song, it reminds me of the stupid video where they're getting all political. And then the rest of these, okay, now In Too Deep, Anything Goes, very forgettable. Now people say, oh, but Domino's the one, because that's the nod to the old prog stuff that they did. And it's like this long, epic prog song. And yes, we're going to give the people what they want, which is the prog, us old Genesis fans. And so we did Domino. Boring. I thought it was safe. There was nothing really interesting about it. It's long. It's a little bit proggy. Now, Throwing It All Away is pretty good. Probably because it's not overplayed and is a decent ballad. And then the Brazilian, which is also forgettable. So this album, the problem I have with this album is it's not prog, and it's not easy listening. They're trying to be easy listening here. And it was very popular. This is probably one that I don't know what their biggest one. Is something going on with my camera? I don't know. Maybe I'm just drunk. $50 more and I'll be with you there with you. Okay. Yeah, so that's it. This was my least favorite album. Okay, so now let's talk the next level here. Okay, I'm going to go through here. You guys might be a little surprised here on this one, because I know that you would think I'm going to pick this one. We Can't Dance. And it's very close, very close. Ditch autofocus. I don't even know how to do that. Well, how do I even do that? Stop cam settings, maybe? Audio, camera. Ooh, I can touch up my appearance. I should do that. Let's see, touch up. Let's see, does this make me look pretty? I touched up my appearance, but it doesn't have autofocus. But I'm going to, you know what? The easy choice for Ghazni would be to pick this one. I've been listening to this a lot, and I'm going to tell you why I'm going to pick what I'm going to pick, but this is hard, and I hate to even say this, but I'm going to go with And Then There Were Three as my second. Now, this one's bad. Don't buy it. Between these two, I would say they're forgettable. Now, that being said, let's talk about, before you start hammering me on the chat, this has Undertow and Follow You and Follow Me on it, which are great songs. So it has two great songs on it. This album, which is Genesis We Can't Dance. Well, let's talk about, And Then There Were Three. This is kind of like, they're kind of getting their footing, I think, with the three-piece. They lose Hackett, and they're getting the feel for where they should go. And I'm going to go, Undertow is great, and Follow You is Follow You. Follow You, Follow Me. Great, great. The rest of it is kind of forgettable. They have their Burning Rope, Ode to Marijuana Smoking. Okay, great. But none of this other stuff really grabs me. I can't really say, when I listen to this album, I listen to those two tracks. And that's it. So if you want the two, I would say buy the two songs off this album and then put it aside. Now, let's talk about We Can't Dance, which is amazing because I've never listened to this album front to back, and I've been listening to it trying to say, do I really think this is better? I'm saying they're so close, but if you just go number of songs that I actually like, there's more on this. And I would say you also have to get out of the mindset that Genesis is a prog band. This is a easy listening album, but it does it so much better. It's not dated like this one. Invisible Touch is dated. It's so like, oh, the sounds and everything. Whereas this one's got some legitimately good songwriting. And I will say it's much more of a Phil Collins solo piece, much more of an adult contemporary appeal, much less proggy. But No Son of Mine is a very moving song. Jesus, He Knows Me, I really dislike. I like the song, but I don't like the message at all. I know it's like, okay, it's ragging on televangelists, and I don't like televangelists either. I get it. But the problem is that that's easy target. You ever seen the Norm Macdonald when the comedian comes out and he starts riffing on Christians, and Norm Macdonald says, I don't like it. He's like, that's easy. Okay, oh yeah, you're being really cutting edge by busting on Christians. I don't like it. Anyway, but it's not a bad song. But then there's I Can't Dance, which on re-listening is not as bad as I remembered. Never a Time, Dreaming While You Sleep, I'd say is a good song. A very good song. Tell Me Why, Living Forever, Hold On to My Heart, very moving song. And then the best song on this album is Fading Lights. And Fading Lights is kind of like a real throwback prog song. And I think it's a great song to end on for this. It's a more delicate prog song, it's a long, epic kind of thing. It's got a lot of hooks, and it's not as flashy as their earlier proggy stuff, but I really like that song. I go back to that and I'm like, and it's a song I'd never heard before until I bought the CD. So I'm just going to go with this one over because it's got a few more songs that I like, and maybe I just haven't heard it. There you go. I'm sticking with it. But I would still say that they're both pretty close equal. Okay, now we're getting down a little closer. So now we're left with 5. Okay. This is hard. This is getting harder. We're getting much harder. Okay, but I'm going to say of the 5 we have left, I would say I'm just going to go by how much I listen to it. All right. And Wind and the Wuthering. Now, this is on a different level. These are must-haves. Wind and Wuthering, I would say, is probably the next one I would go with. And I would say I really like this album. But when I talk about how much I really listen, I don't listen to this as much. Now, it's refreshing to listen. This is the last Hackett one. And this has got Afterglow, which is a great, great song on it. I love that. It's also got What Gorilla, which I love that song. 11th Earl of Mar, very good. But I don't listen to this one quite as much. It's an interesting song. It's got a different tone. It's got a little different feel. It's like that cover kind of says the story. It's a little gray, but a strong, more proggy album, a little more subtle. So this is a good album. It's worth getting just for the fact that it's not been beaten into the ground, played so much. But I just don't listen to it quite as much as the last 4. So I'm going to put that one on my list. So that would be what? So we have how many? 8. So we had 8, 7, 6. This is my 5th favorite, Genesis, Phil Collins era. Now it's getting hard and hard and harder. We got these 4. We've got Trick of the Tail, Duke, Abacab, and Genesis. See, this is almost impossible to decide. But if I have to be honest with myself and say which ones do I listen to the most, I would say which is number 4. I'm going to have to say Duke. Duke is great front to back. It's a concept album. It has probably got one of their best. Oh, Little Rock's here. Good to see you. Good to see you. Just got out of meditation. Turn It On Again, I think, is what set their pace. That is such a great song. But all of these songs are great. You kind of Misunderstanding, I would say, is a little bit of a steal from Led Zeppelin's Fool in the Rain. What is it? Led Zeppelin, Standing on the Corner off of In Through the Outdoor. I always thought he stole the vocal. Guide vocal is great. Man of Our Times. All these are just great songs. When I listen to Duke, I don't skip ahead to those songs. I listen to it beginning to back. This is all of these albums I kind of listen to front to back. And I know a lot of people think Duke is their best album that are of the Phil Collins era. And because it's cohesive, it's proggy. Get it? But if I'm honest with myself, this is my fourth favorite album. And see, this is just killing me. Whoops, 3 left. Any suggestions? What do you guys think? These are all great. All five, the top five are all, I would say, must-haves on the Genesis catalog. But if I'm going to be honest, of these remaining ones, and this is, I'm going to go with 3 as Genesis. Now, this is their breakout album. Little Rock, $10 super chat. Well, $40 away from a sidecar. And we have some discussions, so we'll talk. But I thank you very much. I don't know if that was a drink contributor because he was meditating before and now he just got on. Book is good so far. Just got through the first chapter of Prepare. Buy a cup of coffee. Okay, sorry, just got out of meditation. I know he said mediation, but wouldn't you rather have gotten out of an hour of meditation? Have a good night. Oh, thank you very much, Little Rock. Yeah, the first 6 chapters of Prepare you got to read. So I'm going to say Genesis. And see, this is so hard because I love these albums. Mama, which then people think is the best Phil Collins vocal performance. He's so groundy. Great song. And then That's All, which is a beautiful song. It almost doesn't sound like them, right? Oh, Matt Self, Sidecar Steve. Let me tell the wife. Hold on a second. I've got a great wife, don't I? Hey, wifey, can I have the sidecar? Hopefully that worked. Matt Self, he unlocks the secret squirrel sidecar. Okay, so I'm going to go with Genesis. This is such a great album. Mama, That's All. And then my favorite 2 tracks, some of my personal favorite 2 tracks that Genesis has ever done is Home by the Sea and Second Home by the Sea. I just love that. That is so prog and so epic. And the way they wrote that, because they had this Home by the Sea, they had that they had that worked out. Go watch the video of that. It's so great. And but what they did is they just jammed for like 10 hours. And then they assembled that. They took the best little bits from that 10 hours and assembled it and then re-recorded it, kind of put it together. So it's hard to argue. This was such a huge hit when it came out. It almost got burned out. Now, here's a problem. I'm going to have to like Illegal Alien. Not so good. Look. Thank you. What? Matt Self and all of you things. I'm going to give a happy Friday. Sidecar achievement unlocked, right? Very nice. So, Illegal Alien is a miss for me. Now, I like it because it's so politically incorrect. And I love the fact that all these liberals who think that they're so superior have on their album a song called Illegal Alien. And the video is hilarious because Phil Collins actually wears blackface. So, or brown face, I guess he's an illegal alien. I don't really like that song. That's the direction they went to after it is, well, look, that was popular. Look, we're funny. Ha, ha, ha. Popular. Not great. But I love Home by the Sea, Second Home by the Sea. Epic. Great. One of my favorites. I can listen to that over and over, and I always love it. That's All a great song. Mama's great. Then there's Taking It All Too Hard, which is another great song. Just a Job to Do is good. Silver Rainbow's good. It's going to get better. Good. So, I mean, this is a strong album. And if you want to hear something, who is it? Somebody here says, Sleeping Psychopathy said that she only knows That's All. Go listen to Home by the Sea, the live video or the video that they do of that, and you'll see the lighting that they have. It's great. And it's just epic. The breakdown and the prog, and they go through all these different motions and the keyboards and the interplay between the keyboards and the guitar. And Mike Rutherford, I will say, he's a bass player who turned rhythm guitar player, turned lead guitar player. He is an underappreciated guitar player. He is really a good guitar player. So listen to Home by the Sea. So there's number 2. Now we're going to go for number 1. Which one is number 1? See, this is the problem. If you ask me on a particular day, which one do we go with? Let me look here. I don't know. This is almost an impossible task for Ghazni. Almost impossible. What do you guys think? What is the vote? What does the chat think? Let me let you vote. Maybe we should let you have the vote. These are I'd say the two best Genesis albums in my humble opinion. Oh my God, they're so good. Oh, it's so good. Look at this. See if okay, let's look at this one. This was the first one. So this was the first album without Peter Gabriel, Trick of the Tail, right? Dance on a Volcano. This is a musician's wet dream. I said Home by the Sea, second Home by the Sea is epic prog. Dance on a Volcano is epic prog with the musicianship level at dialed up to 10. The drumming on that is insane. Incredible. Then we have Entangled, which is a great song. Squonk, a great song. Mad Mad Moon, good song. Robbery, Assault, and Battery, also excellent. Ripples. Oh, okay, here's another one, Sleeping Psychopathy. Okay, here's another one. Write down your list. You got your pencil? You're writing down my suggestions here? Write down Ripples. Go listen to Ripples and tell me if that is not a beautiful, beautiful song. A Trick of the Tail, Excellence, and Los Angeles. So this album, front to back, strong. It's in the plastic because when I order the CD, I get the automatic download. So I just never took it out of the plastic because I downloaded it. Maybe I should. But there it is. Trick of the Tail. And then let's talk Abacab. Again, one of my favorite ever songs is the song Abacab. Abacab, you know how it's like, what is Abacab exactly? Abacab was, if you're a musician, you know that you write down songs and you'll write like, this is the A section, the B section, it's the A section, and then you have a C section, which is like a break, and then you go back to A, B. So that's a typical song structure. And he had written that Abacab was on the top of the thing. And then one of I forget which musician was which, but one of them comes up and says, oh, what's this song Abacab? But in fact, it was the structure of the song. They said, that's pretty good. So cheers to you for the drink. The sound on this is different. Whoops, I'm spillage. Normally I have a dish here, but so Abacab, another song that I can listen to over and over and over again, and I don't get bored. I love that song. Another one, again, Sleeping Psychopath. If you want to go and listen to a great song, go listen to Abacab. And you can listen. There's like 3 or 4 different versions on YouTube, all of which are amazing. You can watch the live video. There's 2 live videos that they do it, which are excellent. One is off of the 3 Sides Live. Or no, it's not 3 Sides Live. It's I don't know. Yeah, it's off 3 Sides Live. Yeah, so it's on here that they perform it live, which was great. And this is also, so you can watch the live video, you can watch them do it in a studio production, like a live performance video. And then they also play it at Wembley, which is also really good. So I'm doing album reviews, Trish. That's what I'm doing. That we're going to talk about this after we get done with. So what else is on here? No Reply at All. Excellent song. Me and Sarah Jane. Oh, every time I love that song. I love the mix of it. I love the way it comes in and out. It's so unique. It's such an interesting song. It's a beautiful song. Keep It Dark is a strange song. It's really like, it's like when they did it, they said, how much can we mess up this tempo? But it's a good song. And then Dodo Lurker, another great one, 7 minute 30 second. Who Done It? Man on the Corner. Like It or Not, another record. All of these are epic. So which one is number one? Okay, I'm going to go today. I'm going to go Trick of the Tail number 2, Abacab number 1. Okay, so that's my That's my choices for Genesis. Love it, love it, love it. I can't. If I'm going to give you a must-have Genesis lineup, I would say it's the top 5, which is let's put them in order here. Well, we can. Which order do you want? My number 1 is Abacab. Number 2 is Trick of the Tail. Number 3 is Genesis, self-titled, with Mama. 4 is Duke, and my 5 is Wind and Wuthering. I'd say if you have these 5, you should be a happy Genesis camper. All right, taking notes, sleeping. I want a full report on my desk in the morning, sleeping psychopath. I would say optional. And then there were 3. If you want to get the album, you can. It's a change up. If you don't, just download the tunes Undertow and Follow You, Follow Me, and you got it made. If you want to listen to We Can't Dance, listen to Fading Lights. I'll bet you've never heard it before, and I think it's a good song. You should listen to that one. Don't buy. Okay, so there we go. And then the live albums here, they're kind of out there in the netherworlds. Okay, so that's my album review. Let me see. I will do the same, I think, for the Gabriel Genesis. I'm waiting on my Trespass CD, which will be in tomorrow. And then I want to listen to Trespass in reference to these. So this one with the Gabriel Genesis will be a separate episode. I do also have one, though, in the bank, and it depends how much you guys like it, how many light buttons and how many watches it gets if you're interested. But I have right here a stack in order of Yes. So I will give you the same album review rundown for Yes, and that's ready to go at any moment. So, love Talking Heads, absolutely, JC Adult. So what else are we going to talk about? First of all, thank you for the sidecar. It's going to be a short stream. Oh, we need to decide. So start telling me where we need to dump. In fact, let me do that right now, and then so I don't forget. Otherwise, I'll forget. Who's going to get the Ghazni raid on YouTube? I love doing this. I think it's fun. And let me see. I got to figure out how to do it. Okay, YouTube Studio. Well, we could do a Talking Heads one. That might be a good one. Some of them are tough. Like Zeppelin is my number 1, and I like everything by them. So it's hard for me to say, oh, live stream. Here we go. Hold on a minute. Customization. And then we're going to go to redirect. We're going to add the redirect. Now, where should we redirect? We got Danny on. Oh, I know. Here it is. It's got to be there. Okay, already done. We're going to do it over Flux and Jeff are on, 2 of my favorites. So, okay, so the next thing, so I've got Yes coming up. I'm going to work for you. I'm going to do some hard listening, some re-listening on the Genesis Gabriel era stuff. Then we're going to talk about, we got the redirect. Oh, Jim, I have 4 albums for you to listen to this order. Robin Trower. Okay, so he's got some Robin Trower suggestions. So let me write this down. Thank you, Jim, for the Rumble rant. Jim, Robin Trower, Bridge of Sighs, I've heard, but I don't know the other ones. I've never been a big Robin. I know everybody wants me to listen to Bridge of Sighs. Twice Removed from Yesterday. And Long Misty Days. Yeah, so when you do a Vices raid, you got to tell them I sent you. Okay, the other thing is Brucey the One-Eyed Wonder Dog is about this close to being finished. Oh, yeah, Nicholas Starrow, Trial Watch, he gave me Sec 20, which I don't really know what that is. But thank you, Nick. Good to see you again. He says, best baseline Genesis, Dance on a Volcano. Yeah, there's some epic bass lines in Genesis, and it's funny because a lot of the bass lines in Genesis are keyboards. Here's his thing. Are keyboard bass lines, but then when Mike Rutherford gets over on the bass, there's some smoking going on the bass. Also, I would recommend on the live album, In the Cage, off of Three Sides Live, that bass line in the cage is incredible. So I'm going to show you now, because you guys are here and you stuck with me, and you guys are special. I'm going to have I'm going to have one of these days soon, like next Friday or maybe the Friday after, I will have a Brucey the One-Eyed Wonder Dog pre-release party. How does that sound? And but I'm going to show you the last picture. Okay, the last picture that I have. Now, there's the second to last picture is almost done, but the last picture is done, and it should be done next week. And I will show you what this looks like right now. So here's Brucey. Can you see that? Isn't that wonderful? So this will be available. I will meet my deadline, and that is Thanksgiving pre-order. It's available for pre-order right now over at stevegosling.com, but we're going to do the major release for Thanksgiving, so you can get it for all sorts of kids for Christmas. So that's Brucey the One-Eyed Wonder Dog, available for pre-order now. I'm going to do a full party pre-release stream. And Jim Satella again, Rumble Rant. The Rumble guys have been kicking rear end. Thank you very much, Rumblers. I got sent for Earthblow by mistake from eBay about 8 years ago, and made me buy all his albums. Those four are the best, like Across the Street, Hendrix, and Clapton. Yeah, very good. So that's that. Brucey, Genesis 2. I've got to have Yes coming out. And that was great. Thank you, guys. Was that fun? And thank you. I'll finish the sidecar off stream, I guess. And meanwhile, I'm going to send you all over to Vices and Flux. And you got to say, Gosney Raid. I love it when you guys do that. All right. Thanks a lot. Good night.